Hello guys and girls, Voices from the Dark here. We are at Faristan's place. She's not wearing her cat ears and she appears to have a very serious tone. This is right after we were chased throughout the city and almost killed. So we have a very difficult decision in front of us right now, but I'm very curious to hear her words.
Thanks for earlier. When the viral gang started chasing me, I was really scared.
Does she have a fever or something? Why is she talking normally? She usually pretends to be a cat girl. Does this mean she's not using her Ferris persona right now? Is this the real Akia Romeo? It's actually refreshing to hear Ferris talk normally like this. It excites me for some reason, like she's showing me a side of herself that no one has ever seen.
That was the first time I ever felt such a black emotion from a huge crowd of people.
Those guys were obsessed with black. She slaps me on the knee lightly.
Come on, I'm trying to be serious.
What? Even her retort is normal. The person who's sitting in front of me isn't the cat-eared maids, and she isn't the Reina champion. She's just a normal girl.
Does it still hurt?
No, I'm fine.
Okabe-san, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there. I shiver just thinking about it.
Don't correct yourself like that. Just call me what you usually do. Ferris sighs.
Anyway, Kyoma, I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Honestly. You know, Kyoma, you're my prince.
Prince? What's with the fairy tale talk? She's giving me goosebumps. This calls for Hoi and Kyoma. I'm not a prince. I'm an insane mad scientist, and... Okay, that's one way to shut me up. Before I finish, Ferris throws herself on top of me. I'll just take that for thumbnail purposes. Dots! Exclamation point question mark? She wraps her arms around me tightly. Ferris?
I want you to call me Romeo.
No, Ferris is Ferris, remember? This is bad. What should I do? What does Ferris want?
Hey, I think it's time to end this.
Dots?
You went back in time and risked your life to save me.
I think she's giving up her father.
So I want to grant your wish too.
But... I swallow the rest of my words. Granting my wish would mean erasing her father's existence. My heart aches. It was like this with Susuha too. I erased everything that Susuha had shared with us in 2010, including her memories of meeting her father. I did it for the sake of my personal goal to save Mayuri. So essentially we're killing another man to save a girl. Like, it's a life for a life. It's conflicting. Must I once again sacrifice someone else's dream?
It was on my 8th birthday.
Yeah, I figured you were 8 since you were 9 in 2002. Then 8 years, now you're like 17, 8 and like 10 years ago. But on your birthday! Wow. Still clinging to me, Ferris looks down and begins her story.
I wanted Papa to take a break from work so he could spend time with me. Papa's company wasn't as big back then, so he worked every day from morning to night. I never got to see him. The present I wanted most was for him to spend one whole day with me. And Papa promised. He promised he'd spend the entire day with me, no matter what. But something came up and he had to break his promise the day before. I was so afraid that Papa didn't really love me. So on my birthday, I ran away from home. I wanted to make Papa worry.
Ferris pauses here for a time. Then she looks up at me and continues with tears in her eyes.
The plane Papa was on made a bad landing. Only one person died in the accident. Everyone else was unharmed.
Don't tell me.
The one casualty was Papa.
That was before the world line changed.
I couldn't believe the world could be so cruel to me. I hate you, Papa. You should just die. Those were the last words I ever said to him. And that's how our relationship ended. Forever.
I can hear the tears in her voice.
I loved him. So why? Why did I say those things to him? I always felt guilty because of what I said. I always wished I could go back in time. Change what happened.
Then, did fate guide us to each other?
When I heard you talking about your time machine, I thought I was being given a chance.
Ferris. Romeo. That's enough for today. You don't have to say anything more.
No, let me finish.
Ferris doesn't let go of me. She sniffles and wipes away her tears, putting on a smile.
I'm okay now. Papa came to save me, so I know how much he really loves me. I really enjoyed having this time to spend with him. It was like a gift to us from heaven. But now you need to change things back to the way they were.
But
Mayushi's a very important friend to me. If Mayushi's in danger, I'll do anything to save her.
I'm sorry.
Weren't you listening? This current reality isn't reality at all, but rather a gift to my father and me. Or maybe I should call it a dream. Papa doesn't belong in this time. You're just turning things back to normal. Thank you for letting me have this dream, Kiyuma.
Are you really okay with that?
Tats.
Ferris burrs her face into my chest.
Actually, I'm not okay at all. I remember how things were before the world changed. But I also remember how everything was after the world changed, you know? I'm actually kind of freaking out right now. What happened before the change and after the change are all mixed up inside me. I don't know which one is real anymore. But if I try to fight it, it'll just make you sad, won't it? I don't want to make you sad. You're my prince, after all.
We can do something. There might be a world where you don't lose your dad and Mayuri doesn't die.
If we try, it's okay. I have accepted it. I don't want to run away anymore.
There's nothing I can say to that. So instead, I tightly embrace your slender body. Thank you.
Hey, is it okay if I cry a little? Before we change things back? Is it okay if I cry for Papa?
She's already crying, but I don't say anything. Instead, I silently nod. Ferris's body trembles with emotion as I hold her. Her father is sleeping in the room next door, so she probably doesn't want him to hear. She cries into my chest, muffling her sobs. It's almost noon. I feel dizzy. It's like my brain is rusty. My whole body is heavy with fatigue. The pain from my wounds has subsided, thankfully, but in the end I couldn't sleep a wink. I promised Ferris that we'd commence the operation at noon. Until then, we waited at Ferris's apartment. I've already contacted Dara and the others back at the lab. I told them we'd be performing an experiment today.
Kiyuma.
Ferris. I can see the traces of tears on her face. The sight makes my heart ache.
I'll go say my last goodbyes to Papa now, Nyan.
Oh? Her usual speaking habits returned the second she donned her cat ears. What a nifty piece of equipment.
Let me be alone with Papa for a while, Nya.
That's... Maybe I should say wait. Maybe I should say sorry. But I say nothing to Ferris's back as she heads off to her father's study. By the time Ferris finishes her farewells with her father and comes out of the study, the phone wave name subject to changes settings are already complete. I contact Dara at the lab and make sure the Bronto Workshop's 42-inch CRT is turned on. Now all we have to do is send the D-mail. But I hesitate.
That's...
Instead of meeting Ferris's eyes, I look down at my feet. Eternal separation from her father. I wonder what Ferris is thinking now.
Don't be like that, Kiyoma. You've done nothing wrong, Nyan.
But...
Nyan, no more talking, Nyan.
Okay. I can't stay sad when Ferris is trying to cheer me up. I steel myself for what I need to do. Yesterday, just before she left the room, Ferris told me the contents of the first email she sent. $100 mil for your kid. Take the train. That mail stopped her father from getting on the airplane. As a result, he didn't die. But that wasn't the only effect it had on the timeline. Her father needed to sell the IBM 5100 to prepare the 100 million yen ransom. As a result, Ferris never donated the IBM 5100 to Yanomayashi Shrine. There's one or the other, you know? With her father alive, Ferris didn't participate in Akihabara's development conferences. Otaku-oriented businesses never took root in Akiba. May Queen plus Nyan Square never opened. Ferris wasn't as busy, which allowed her to join the Raynet tournament circuit. In other words, this world line's Ferris has a normal life. On the world line I came from, Ferris was not only a student, but also the heir to her father's company, an influential member of the Akihabara Development Board, and a part-time maid waitress. Which life is better for her? Which will give her greater happiness? That's not my decision, it's hers. And her decision is to return to the way things were. I'm just here to help her wake up from this dream. Ferris has already entered the cancellation email. JK on ransom. I love you, Papa. See you soon. These are Ferris's true last words to her father. Like, that's the message he'll receive right before he dies. Still, like, the fact that he already got the other email might have shook him up a little. Maybe he'll take a different plane, a different seat. I'm really sorry, Ferris. When we change things back, will my memories of this world disappear, Nya? Of course not. You'll remember. She seems to have some sort of version of reading Steiner. You have memories from both worlds right now, don't you? Is that why you were so desperate to help Ferris, Nya? That's open to your interpretation. I feel my cheeks get warm, so I hang my head to hide my face. Ferris doesn't want to forget her time with Kiyoma, Nya? Thank you. I take Ferris's phone. I'm sorry, Ferris. I lied to you. When we change things back to the way they were, your memories of this world line will almost certainly disappear. But she has some sort of reading Steiner, though. Perhaps another miracle will happen and you'll regain your memories of this world line too, but I can't be sure. There are no guarantees. And so I will engrave these memories onto my heart. The memory of Ferris, the Raynet champion. So now the game wants me to pull up my phone and send the email. I'm thinking, what happens if I don't send the email and decide to stay here? It's probably going to result in a shorter ending, if it even is an ending, or if it just loops back and I have to do this. But I would be interested to explore the shorter endings first, if that's possible. So what we'll do here is that we'll make a save, and I'll not send the email and see what happens, because I'm sort of curious. Oh god, I have so many saves. Curious about that. It was number, this one, right? Yeah. Alright. The memory of her father, who gave thanks to a stranger like me for protecting his daughter. I will carry them for you. Always. Bye-bye, Papa. It must be done. For Mayuri's sake. I must erase Ferris's memories just as I did Susua's. There's no other way. I give Ferris back her phone.
Kiyuma?
No. I won't let this dream end yet. Don't jump to conclusions. We should explore other methods. After all, her father's life hangs in the balance. Let's try another way. I can't kill your dad.
Kiyuma? I'm sorry, Nya. Ferris led you astray, Nya.
No, it's okay. This is my decision. I don't have what it takes to be a god. That burden is too much for me to bear. Okay. My theory is that this is gonna get us some sort of Ferris ending or something like that, where we don't really end up achieving our main goal of saving Mayuri. Or we'll see where it goes, because there's so many different paths in this game that it's interesting to test it out a little. Ferris's father is still at home, so we go to the UPX cafe to talk. Ferris orders a sandwich. Now I'm hungry.
Do you have something in mind, Nya?
It's a gamble, but we can change the contents of the D-mail you sent.
We're not going to cancel the first prank mail, Nya?
Exactly. I win as long as I get back the IBM 5100. Your father doesn't need to die. Right as I say that, the employee comes to us with a sandwich and drinks. She looks startled. We're talking about a game, just don't worry. The employee forces a smile at my lame excuse and heads back inside. I turn back to Ferris. I think we should send a D-mail that says something like, give the IBM 5100 to Okabe Rintaro. I think 10 years is about the limit of how far back we can send D-mails. Phone mail didn't become widespread until then. Lukaku's mom's pager was a special case, but even that was still limited to the 1990s. So I don't think we can do anything fancy like tell Ferris's dad to start stockpiling IBM 5100s in 1975.
But you know, back then, Papa's company was down and he didn't have much capital, Nya? I doubt you could say anything to stop him from selling the IBM 5100 if he needed the money to save me, Nyan.
Ferris frowns and takes a bite of her egg sandwich. That depends on what we send. If we make it seem like he came from the kidnappers, then your father has to find another way. He's a retro PC collector, so she should have plenty of other PCs he could sell, right?
He wouldn't get enough money with those, Nyan. Back then, the IBM 5100 was the only one people would pay through the nose for, Nyan.
Then this is something only you can pull off. I'll say it again. This is only a bet. A bet to escape the responsibilities of a god. By using the tools of a god. How will the world line change? What will that new world line bring? I don't have the answers. It may become a world where neither Mayuri nor your father can be saved, but it could also be one where both can. There's no way to be sure, but I can't leave things the way they are. I can't let Mayuri die, and I can't let your dad die. A gamble. All or nothing. Is Ferris alright with that? 2 lives hang in the balance. I don't want to be making decisions that affect whether people live or die. Oh, too late for that. But I can't think of any alternative.
If that's your decision, then it's okay with me, Nyan.
Really?
I know that you're trying to save Papa, Nyan. And I'm really grateful for that, Nyan. I think I'm falling in love with you, Nya.
Don't tease me like that.
But I'm not just teasing, Nyan.
Ferris pouts cutely.
Does Kiyuma hate girls like me, Nya?
Dots. She stares into my eyes, saying nothing. No wonder you're May Queen's #1 maid. You know how to flatter your customers.
I don't like it when Kiyuma dodges the question, Nya.
Now she makes a sad face and drops her shoulders. Don't tell me that was a real confession of love to me. Sure, Ferris is cute. I don't have as much trouble dealing with her as I used to. I could certainly get used to the idea of being with a girl like her. I am a man, after all, and any man would be overjoyed to win the heart of a girl like Ferris. That would get annoying. Pretty fast. And the fact, if she was Rumio more often, then yeah, maybe. But if she's constantly going to be Catgirl, then it's going to be a hell. This is no time for romance. Every time is a time for romance. Ferris, let's do this together. It'll come out alright. Trust me.
I guess you're never gonna answer me, yeah?
Ferris looks a little sad, but after a deep breath, she smiles again. If you're gonna confess to me, come and confess to me as Remiho, not as Ferris Nyan Nyan, okay?
I'm with you, Kuma. Let's send that email, yeah?
We have our plan. Will the dice come up odd or even? Not even God knows. I take Ferris with me to the lab, and Daru weeps tears of joy at her safety. Mayuri jumps on her with a hug. Kurisu keeps reading, her expression aloof. I tell the three of them I'll explain later, though I don't know if I'll get the opportunity since we're changing the past, and head with Ferris straight to the development room. We haven't actually seen these guys for like 3 episodes. Well, we saw a little bit of Daru. And we called up... never mind. Ferris has already written the email. The root of the problem is your fake ransom demand, which caused your father to sell his IBN 5100. This is a second threatening email written to prevent that. Its time of arrival is 1 hour after the first email. I set the timer and exchanged glances with Ferris.
There's no
turning back.
I hope I still remember you, Nya, after the world line changes.
Even that is no guarantee. This isn't like Sasua's case where I return the warped world line back to normal. We're warping it even more. I wouldn't be surprised if there were changes more drastic than the elimination of Moe from Akiba. This does stray from our original goal, though, of returning it so we can get the IBN. But the whole reason we were twisting the world line was to get the IBN, so if we can get an IBN through other means, even if it means twisting it more, then that should be fine. Although I think it would have been better if we actually sent this mail and not went down this path, but we're doing it because I think it's a shorter one. Even if you forget, I'll remember.
Kuma, I want you to hold your hands.
I take Ferris's hand and activate the microwave. Go for it, Ferris.
Sending... Nyan.
Whoa. Did you see that divergence? Was that 0.27? Or, no, it was... what? Wait, okay, the divergence is definitely less now, which I guess is to be expected, but hey, look at that! Moe culture is thriving in Akiba. The warmth of Ferris's hand suddenly disappears from mine. What? Damn! The summer sun fills my distorted vision. Next comes the noise of Akiba, the voices of the crowd and the theme songs of electronic shops. This is teleportation. I realize I'm standing on Shuodori right in front of Animate. Animate? The anime shop? I scan the street. All the Moe stores are back. The world line must have changed. That's evident from the fact that Reading Steiner kicked in. Ferris, however, is nowhere to be seen. Even though we were standing right next to each other just a moment ago, hand in hand, she disappeared. Did her very existence disappear? No, that's absurd. I refuse to accept that. So did our plan work? Or are things even worse now? I need to explore this new world line. I head to the Tanushi residence and find Nei there, home alone. I managed to convince her to let me in. She's like, no, you're scary! Go away! The divergence meter is there as expected. Yeah, the first digit is blank, which is... It now reads 0.275349%. But isn't that the same as 0. What's the... Is it broken? Or is there a reason for the missing digit? Anyway, better make a note of this number on my phone. When I checked the divergence meter after erasing our memories with Sasua, the number was above 0.4%. The current number is significantly lower now. But the bigger question is that missing first digit.
Who are you? What do you want?
Nay peeks at me from behind the sliding door. She's acting even more afraid than usual. I don't want her to tattle on me to her dad. I'd better calm her down somehow. Sorry for the sudden visit. I'm done.
But how come Nay doesn't know us? Like, we still knew about Nay even before Sasua showed up, because Tanushi was talking about Mr. Brown. I'm not sure. Wait, oh sorry, I didn't read that one. I got a bit carried away there. That doesn't seem... By the way, your old man's the one who showed me how to get... Ooh, sound. Ah, damn it, the voices are off. By the way, your old man's the one who showed me how to get here. That doesn't seem to ally her nervousness much, and she still doesn't come any closer. Who are you? Please get out. If you don't, I'll call the police. And my daddy's really strong. I know, girl. I know. He works out.
Dots? What's going on here? Who am I? Come on, we met a number of times.
Dots?
I rent out the second floor of your old man's shop, remember?
Help, Daddy!
Whoa, now hold on a second.
If you touch me, I'll bite my tongue and die.
That was new. I'm not gonna touch you, okay? You really don't remember me? Nay shakes her head frantically. We've never met? She nods. Oh, sorry about that. I'm friends with your old man. I'm done here, so I'll be going now. My thoughts are a jumble, but I force a smile to hide my confusion and leave the Tanushi residence behind. Something like this was bound to happen. It's a small comfort, but I knew the risks when I chose this path. Given that cancelling that Sasua's D-mail only changed divergence by 0.07%, a change of 0.2% likely means a dramatic shift in the world line, at least from my perspective. It's entirely possible that past events on this world line, my relationships included, are very different from what I remember. As proof, with the sole exception of Ferris, all contacts have disappeared from my phone.
What? No. I haven't gotten or sent any mail? Oh fuck, that opens up the internet browser. Oh Don't click on that button. You wanna know what that does? Messes up everything. Okay, so now Steins Gate is just a black window that I can't do anything with. It crashed. Yep, Steins Gate stopped working. Why would you have a link inside a full screen game that links... Oh, that's so stupid. Stupid! I'll have to replay. And we are back in action. That's nothing but pure horror to me. To save Mayuri and Ferris's father, we warped the fabric of time even more than it had been warped already. To lose everyone other than Ferris, that would be unbearable. That can't have happened. They can't have disappeared. I'm sure they still exist. My phone is just broken is all. Yeah, that's probably it. I knew this might happen. I accepted the risks. But at the same time, I don't want my relationships with my friends to change. I hold that desperate wish in mind. Mayuri, Daru, and Karisu should be in the lab like usual. Once I get there, Mayuri will greet me cheerfully, right? I climb the stairs to the second floor, praying that everything will be alright. And there, I realize that my prayers were for naught. The second floor is vacant. And of course the time leap machine is nowhere to be found. So, you now got yourself into a timeline where you don't have a time machine, meaning you're essentially stuck. Great. So May Queen exists. I figured it wouldn't go well if we went down this path. Still in a daze, I wander to the maid cafe in search of a familiar face. Feels like 10 years since I last saw that cat logo. I take a deep breath and open the door. Ferris! Mayuri! Thank God! I feel indescribable relief when I see the two girls standing there. They didn't disappear. They still work here, just as I remember. No, Master, it's Mayushi Nyan Nyan.
Mayuri smiles at me and strikes a cat-like pose. She doesn't remember us. I think it's just Ferris. We're alone with Ferris, which is probably going to be the Ferris ending, I would assume. But I think because I disabled voice actors for all the characters, but I think whenever there's a scene where there's two people talking, like Ferris and Mayuri, or Kurisu and Sasua, when they told me to, did they say shut up? Or did they say I know? They yelled something at me, and then, like, a sound plays.
You're Ferris-chan's duel partner, aren't you?
She turns to Ferris.
Ferris-chan, did you tell him Mayushi's real name?
Yeah, I don't remember telling him, yeah.
But you do call yourself Mayushi, so maybe he guessed, yeah? Oh,
Dots, this feeling. Something is very wrong.
Kyuma!
Ferris brings her mouth close to my ear.
Thanks for coming, yeah? But please don't act like my boyfriend in front of the customers, yeah?
Your boyfriend?
Dummy! You can't use that word, yeah? We can sweet talk all we want after work's over, so control yourself until then, yeah?
I might have lost all my friends, but that's my girlfriend. I'm sold. Sold! Sold to the man in the white shirts.